I want to thank you all here for being here. Let's give a big round of applause, and everybody who's in this room helped make this production possible for us to be here. And also, take a minute. You guys deserve your own round of applause, because you could be anywhere tonight doing homework, hanging out with your friends, your kids, but you decided to come here and better your professional career. So give yourselves a round of applause as well. Like Val said, my name is Lisa Ann Pinkerton. I'm the founder and chairwoman of Women in Cleantech and Sustainability. And we're here to talk about the advantage to leading like a woman in the cleantech and sustainability space. I phrased it this way because it's not just about being a woman leader, but it's also, this talk will also be beneficial to the men in the audience, because there are leadership traits that are natural for men and natural for women, and we know that the best leaders are ones that can meld both into one. And let's give the guys a round of applause for being here, ladies. Yeah, see, they're progressive, they know what's going on. I love this quote from Kofi Annan. He says, "There is no tool for development more effective than the empowerment of women." And that's what we're starting to recognize in the world, and that's what's starting to happen right now. I feel like we're going through a global awakening. How many of you kind of feel that in the air? You know, the world's starting to wake up, right? We went through the Industrial Revolution. We had a lot of great advancements there, but we also picked up a lot of baggage and a lot of problems, especially with regards to the environment. People are starting to wake up. We're starting to get it, and that's great. And it could be argued that some of the leaders in this space, some of the people who are really pushing for this kind of change, this kind of metamorphosis, are women. And we're going to go through why we think that is. Right now, in Fortune 500 companies, women hold 8% of management positions. Less than 10%, 8%. But in the cleantech and sustainability space, women hold 39% of leadership positions. Why is this? We think it has a lot to do with the way women are evolutionarily wired. We have a stronger 7th generation mindset. There's a Native American belief that when you make a decision on something, whether it's what you're going to have for breakfast, or where you're going to, plow a field, or where you're going to build a building, what have you, you're not just thinking about how this is going to impact you today, but you're thinking 7 generations out. 7 generations out, how is my decision today going to affect the 7th generation? And that gives you a very strong perspective on how to make strong choices that will preserve your way of life. And women have this very strongly. How this relates to business is that women are taking these innate attributes and they're funneling them into their business ventures. Because if they're going to do something, they're going to take the time away from their family and build a career. It's going to be one that is meaningful to them and meaningful to the world. And it's going to leave the world in a better place than when they found it. So they're creating CSR programs for their companies, corporate social responsibility programs. These are women who are volunteering their time. They're not getting paid. They are volunteering their time for their company to build a CSR program. They're founding startups. They are building consulting practices to help other companies. And they're organizing others. They're creating advocacy, they're organizing their neighborhoods, and they're organizing their networks. Jenny Grant, a really good friend of mine, is a perfect example of this. She's a manager of global sustainability programs at Oracle. She wasn't handed that position on a silver platter. She built it, and she fought for it, and she still fights for it. She started out as a human resources person at the Sierra Club, and then was a business analyst for Oracle and moved her way up. And when she noticed that there wasn't a sustainability program at Oracle, she started it. And then when she proved that it was useful to the company, they gave her the title. This happens all over the place. And this is how we understand that 39% of sustainability leadership positions are held by women, because they have just created the job for themselves. Dominion as leadership style is becoming less and less popular. There is a new growing appreciation of the feminine way of leading, which includes helping the world to understand and be principled about values that really matter. That's what all these women are doing, and there's more. I mean, I could go on all day about the women who are leading in this space. And they're doing it because they have a passion for the mission of making the world a better place for their families, for their communities, and for the world. And it's not about them, it's about everybody else. But what's great is that we know that women-led businesses are also financially have better benefits. So it's not just a benefit to the world, to the community, to the environment, but women leading these companies are actually having higher returns than their male counterparts. The Harvard Business School reported that peers, bosses, and associates rate senior women executives 10% higher as leaders than their male executives. And Credit Suisse said that their boards with women on them outperformed the male boards. Financially, women-led startups provide 35% higher returns and 12% higher revenues for their investors. That's work that's been done by Vidik Wadala, who's over in Stanford. And then another study with Catalyst said, on average, companies with the highest percentages of women board directors outperform those with the least by 53% on return on investment, 42% on return on sales, and 66% return on invested capital. Now, quite often people will write off these numbers and say, well, women are just better at budgeting. They're more resourceful. They've been, buying the groceries and managing the family budget for years. And they'll write it off. What we're here to talk about today is what are those skills that women really excel at that are helping them to get these numbers and that are really helping them to excel in the clean tech industry and the sustainability industry where we really need their help. I love this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Has she not greater intuition? Is she not more self-sacrificing? Does she not have greater powers of influence? Has she not greater courage? The future is with women. Who can make a more effective appeal to the heart than a woman? We're going to talk a little about what he might be meaning by that. Here's some top traits for women leaders. Capital efficient, resourceful. All right, good, we get that part. Women are more persuasive and they're more influential. And we think that this comes from eons and eons of women not having a voice and not having any power. So evolutionarily, we evolved to figure out other ways to get what we needed and to influence people to help us get what we needed or what we thought should be. Now, taken in a negative sense, this can be termed manipulation. And a lot of women choose not to use this trait because they don't want to be seen as manipulators. They want to be seen as getting ahead, on equal playing field. But if you ladies take one thing away from this talk today, it's that you're incredibly influential and persuasive. And you have a great way of reading the emotionality of other people and figuring out how to match what you need with what they want. It can be very powerful in business, especially in sales. It's great to walk away from a sales conversation when the customer just sold themselves, right? Super easy, great. Everybody's happy. Women are more inclusive and they have more of a team leadership style. If you look at structures of management structures, men tend to like very militaristic leadership structures, right? So there's the CEO on top, and then he's got his C-suite, and then there's the managers, and then there's their people, and they answer. Everybody has one person up that they answer to. Women don't operate that way. In fact, with women in clean tech and sustainability, we originally had a board structure that was very top-down like that. And it wasn't working for us. We struggled with our leadership style and how we worked together. And so we scrapped that and we created a circular leadership style because a lot of women, they just want to be at the center, they want to have their teams around them, and they want to have access to everybody and have everybody have access to them. No barriers. And this comes from women innately being mothers and being nurturers and wanting to lead the group. Women are quite tenacious when it comes to challenging adversity. And we're also pretty good at taking calculated risks. Now, the tenacity probably comes from being not having a lot of power in the world and learning that you just have to break the rules and you have to fight for what you want. Now, calculated risks comes from having some intuition on where the vibe is going and where the flow is, and pointing everybody in that direction because you have a sense that that's where things are going. Women also have they have a genuine collaboration that comes from the team building, and not so much a zero-sum game. So it's we're all going to win, right? We all get something out of this work. It's not I win, you lose. So this really helps them to manage multiple stakeholder expectations. Again, keeping everybody copacetic, making sure that everybody has what they need, finding matches, and valuing what other people see as important to them and making sure they get it in the exchange. And last but not least, I don't know how else to describe this except it's a mama bear protection instinct, okay? There's a great phrase, it's like, you don't know how strong a woman is until you drop her in hot water. Whoa. I mean, you put her in a situation that she has to fight for something, she will fight. We're really good at that when we're put up to the test. And that is incredibly beneficial when you're building a company. You're working in a space like Cleantech and Sustainability where it seems like everything's against you. So let's break some of these things down. So the sub-skills of team building. I talked a little bit about them in the other slide. But when you're building teams, you have to have great communication. Women are excellent at that. And listening skills. And understanding emotionally where people are. And making sure that everybody is kept moving in the same direction. Everybody's happy. Also, it takes a lot of confidence in oneself to work in a team and not be the person at the top. It actually takes more confidence to sit back and say it was a team effort. And yes, I'm the decision maker, but what do you think? Let's all come to an agreement. Let's decide this together. That takes a lot of confidence because what the team decides may not actually be what you want. But if that's what the team decides and you value the voices on your team, you can have confidence moving forward. Sheryl Sandberg wrote her book, Lean In. How many of you have read it? Okay, I highly recommend it. Very, very good. She said, I want every little girl who's told she's bossy to be told instead that she has leadership skills. And these leadership skills that we've outlined here today, they're what we would call a lot of soft skills. And so when you're being a leader, you have 50% hard skills and 50% soft skills. Your hard skills are the selling people and getting them to sign on the dotted line and the negotiation and being tactical in that way, or the finances and writing out a budget and managing your money that way. These are the hard skills. Soft skills are a lot of what we've talked about already. Using your intuition, using your gut feeling. Reading people's emotional states and adjusting how you behave and being flexible to meet them where they are. Communication and education and using your influence. These are the soft skills. And so strong leaders are people who hold both hard and soft skills equally. You mesh them together. So everything we talked about today, these are skills that women are innately strong in, and when you do the research, women are just off the charts with them. But men are also incredibly good at these skills. And so when you're out in the world building your businesses and doing your work, paying attention to these different skills can help you gain greater confidence in using them in certain situations. So women, I encourage you to start thinking a little bit more about how you influence people and how you read emotional states and how you communicate. Because when you use these things consciously and you get a win from using them, that reinforces the behavior, makes it safe, and gives you more confidence to use it again. Use it in a bigger way or use it in a riskier way. And it's not until you start to think about what these skills are do you recognize that, hey, I am a good leader. Sometimes I get really irritated because women try to be leaders, or they are leaders, but they're very masculine leaders, and then they come up against adversity or challenges, and they either don't succeed or people shoot them down, or they don't even get to a place where they can be a leader because what they think are leadership skills are very masculine leadership skills. When in reality, if you think about your leadership skills that you have innately as a woman and start to recognize them for what they are and use them, you gain greater confidence in understanding that, yes, you do have leadership skills. They're just different. Neither good nor bad. They're just different, and you're naturally stronger in them. And these soft skills are really what are driving the green economy, in my opinion. Because it's not just about your bottom line, and it's not just about the technology, although all that's great. But really, what we know is that the best technologies don't always win. It's the technologies and the companies that have really great, strong teams and that have really great marketing. And marketing, what is marketing? It's education and communication. And it's enrollment of your community, gaining customers, creating fans. And the companies that do that well are the ones that win. How many of you remember Betamax, right? Betamax was the better technology. It was the more sophisticated technology at higher resolution. But it did not serve the public, and it did terrible marketing. And that's why VHS won. And there's multiple examples of such things. So in the green economy, what are we doing? We're convincing people to do something different. Something that's maybe more challenging for them, something that's more expensive maybe, although not necessarily when it comes to solar. That's pretty equal with fossil fuel costs right now. But we're asking them to do things differently. And we're asking them to do something. Quite often, the biggest competitor a Cleantech or sustainability company has is the do-nothing attitude. And so in this space, the majority of what we're doing is we're communicating, we're persuading, we're influencing, we're educating. That is the biggest challenge. And that's where these soft skills come in, and that's where the leadership of women is really shining. Well-behaved women rarely make history. 125 years ago in the United States and in Great Britain, it took these women 25 years to get the right to vote. 25 years. And the dangers that they faced and the public ridicule and shame that a lot of them faced was not trivial. It was dangerous for them, very dangerous. And they succeeded. They succeeded without having any power or influence. They succeeded by influencing men to give them the right to vote. We can do it again in the fight against climate change and this growth into a green economy. And the good news is that as women, we don't have to do it alone. We have men helping us. We can all do it together. And by using these soft skills and these feminine leadership styles, I think we can go further a lot faster. And if you think about it, we don't have the luxury of taking our time with this one. We're right on the edge of having a choice of mitigating climate change to having the choice of having to deal with those ramifications and adjusting to climate change. We can still turn back the clock, but we all have to move together, and we have to move really fast. And if we focus on using some of these feminine leadership styles, I think we'll succeed in enough time. Thank you very much.